All right, thanks for that, Noah. Well, the Arkansas Supreme Court heard oral arguments in the appeal for Zachary Holly. He's a Benton County man facing the death penalty for the kidnapping and murder of 6-year-old Jersey Bridgeman. On Thursday, Holly's counsel argued 2 facts were never presented to the jury during the murder trial. They say Holly has fetal alcohol spectrum disorder and was raped by his brother multiple times. His counsel argued that those facts being presented to the Benton County jury would have changed the outcome of the case.
And that there were devastating consequences of those repeated rapes. Those 2 facts, individually and in concert with one another, would have changed the outcome of this case had a jury been presented with that evidence. And Zachary Holly would not be on death row.
The state argued the fact finding in the lower courts was done properly and the jury's decision was ultimately correct. You can find our past coverage on the Holly case on our website, 5newsonline.com.
An exclusive interview with the CEO of Mercy Fort Smith sheds light on the future of healthcare in our area. Last week, Baptist Health Fort Smith announcing it's ending labor and delivery at the end of the month. The CEO, though, of Mercy weighing in, saying as far as Mercy's concerned, it is ready to take any and all expecting mothers by the end of April.
Every expectant mother will have a place, will have a provider here at Mercy. I can't guarantee they'll get the specific position they may want, but we have capacity for every one of those mothers.
Well, we did ask for an interview with the Baptist Health Fort Smith CEO, but he declined our offer. And a major upgrade coming to one of Northwest Arkansas's most popular attractions.
The Butterfly House at the Botanical Garden of the Ozarks will soon close for renovations. 5 News reporter Jada Daniels is live to explain what's changing. Good morning, Jada.
Good morning. Yeah, it may be the end of the season for the Butterfly Garden, but leaders here tell me it's just the beginning of something bigger. The Botanical Gardens of the Ozark is launching a Butterfly House renewal and pollinator education initiative. After more than a decade of use, the structure will undergo repairs, where the garden expands its focus on pollinator education across the entire space and more interactive programs designed to teach visitors about the roles pollinators play in the environment. During the closures, butterflies won't disappear. They'll still be found throughout the garden, along with new activities for visitors.
It's a space where you enter and feel like a kid again. We hear from so many guests of all ages that they have brought friends and family into that space, created wonderful memories, and that it's a highlight for them when they come to visit.
Now, they tell me it's set to reopen for the 2027 season with an even greater focus on education. In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Jada Daniels, 5 News.
All right, thanks for that, Jada. Well, the countdown is on to the final moments of the historic Artemis II moon mission, with the crew set to splash down this evening. Mark Strassman is at the Johnson Space Center in Houston with a closer look.
When we watched that Earth eclipse behind the moon, wow, I'm actually getting chills right now just thinking about my palms are sweating.
Artemis II's lunar loop was a flyby lasting 7 hours, but the crew's takeaways will last a lifetime. Ahead, Earth and the risks of re-entry. The capsule will hit our upper atmosphere barreling 24,000 miles per hour. Temperatures will reach 5,000 degrees. A protective heat shield under the capsule, more than 16 feet in diameter, has to keep the crew alive.
When you saw the cracks and the chunks, what was going through your mind?
We've got to understand what happened, and we've got to make tough decisions about how to address it.
Victor Glover is talking about the unpiloted Artemis I mission in 2022. This is video looking outside its blistering re-entry. Pieces of the heat shield kept flying off. Engineers later found holes and cracks pocking the shield's outer char layer. A crew would have survived, but it was worrisome. NASA decided to keep the same heat shield, but modify the trajectory of the capsule's return. Lead Flight Director Jeff Radigan.
We've done our homework and we've really done the testing.
Do you feel good about it?
I do feel good about it, yes.
When we talked to the crew about the heat shield, they all said they were confident NASA had made the right fix. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Houston.
Well, the splashdown is scheduled for around 7 p.m. local time. We'll have extended coverage on the 5 News Plus app. Well, in the Middle East today, Vice President J.D. Vance heads to Pakistan ahead of long-term peace talks with Iran.
Amid the ceasefire, Iran is delivering mixed messaging on the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's deputy foreign minister says that ships can coordinate with the military for safe passage, but only about a dozen have gone through in the past 2 days. Iran's new supreme leader said in a statement that the country is entering a new era with the management of the waterway. Meanwhile, top Pentagon officials said that the U.S. has not given up its position on the battlefield.
U.S. forces have paused offensive operations in accordance with the ongoing ceasefire. However, we remain present. We remain vigilant, and we remain ready if called.
The U.S. is preparing to host talks between Israel and Lebanon in Washington next week. In other news, rare public comments from First Lady Melania Trump. She gave surprise remarks on Jeffrey Epstein in a 6-minute speech at the White House on Thursday. The First Lady reiterated that she did not know the convicted sex offender. She spoke out against what she called fake images and statements appearing to connect her to Epstein.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today.
Well, there are pictures of her and President Trump with Epstein and his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, from the early 2000s. But the First Lady says the only overlapped in social circles. She is now calling on Congress to bring Epstein survivors in for a public hearing.